Here's the part that I like about the backlash. Clearly, it's something that a lot of people can't take.
Good evening, and welcome to our coverage of Angel Reese, the WNBA forward whose lofty expectations have come under scrutiny. Once celebrated for collegiate dominance, she now grapples with a true shooting percentage around 46.4%, placing her last among volume scorers. Observers suggest a professional transition has exposed gaps in her offense.
She decides to come back is not to win a championship, it's to develop her offensive game. Yeah. We can say she played a great game.
As defenses highlight weaknesses she never faced in college. Despite a growing social media following that once rejected her as a future face of the league, her on-court output has raised doubts about her readiness for this level. Critics question whether her struggles are just typical rookie hurdles or deeper flaws. While supporters urge patience, many analysts cite her low conversion rate on shots that most forwards of her stature convert at a far higher clip. Tonight, we dissect why these numbers persist and what they may mean for her career in a league that prizes efficiency over hype. The stakes are high, and Reese faces real pressure.
Angel Reese's story is far from over. She's young, she's 6'2", she got good potential. With hard work and growth, she still has the chance to prove her doubters wrong.
Comparisons to fellow rookie Caitlin Clark have only magnified these concerns, as Clark's 58.3% true shooting marks a dramatic contrast. Clark thrives despite intense defensive attention, showcasing an adaptability that sets her apart. Meanwhile, Reese's persistent inefficiencies make onlookers wonder how two similarly hyped prospects could diverge so quickly. Some point to stylistic differences, noting that Clark's perimeter-based game naturally leads to higher scoring opportunities. Even so, the gap remains difficult to dismiss, with Clark evolving into an efficient star while Reese appears stalled. Fans debate whether Reese simply needs more time to adjust, or whether these numbers indicate a fundamental misalignment in her approach. The question looms large. Can Reese, who once seemed poised to lead a franchise, keep pace with peers who are already exceeding expectations? Her supporters remain hopeful, but skepticism grows with each missed opportunity. Reese's most puzzling shortcoming appears in her inability to finish near the rim, an area where a 6'3" forward should dominate. Analysts report she converts roughly 44.5% of shots within 5 feet, territory generally deemed high percentage. Defenses may be keying in, but critics highlight rush finishes, questionable footwork, and erratic touch. It's particularly glaring when smaller guards, standing several inches below her, display greater efficiency under the same pressure. Why can't Reese convert what should be routine attempts? Some chalk it up to nerves or a lack of poise, suggesting that once she stabilizes her mechanics, she'll improve dramatically. Others worry it's a deeper technical flaw that should have been addressed years ago. The harsh reality is that in a league where games often hinge on execution around the basket, consistent struggles can undermine both individual and team success. Coaches are watching closely, hoping for a turnaround. On top of that, observers note that Reese's rebounding statistics may be inflated by her own misses, highlighting a cycle of inefficiency. While she does collect a substantial number of boards, a notable fraction are her own failed attempts, effectively padding her total. Some analysts argue these rebounds reflect hustle and determination, qualities that should be praised. However, others counter that relying on second chance points underscores an issue that begins with failing to convert the first shot. In a league where each possession matters, repeated misses can disrupt the team's flow, even if she salvages certain plays by retrieving the ball. This tug-of-war between hustle and inefficiency fuels debate among fans, with some defending her as a relentless competitor and others suggesting she must address the root cause. If she can eliminate self-inflicted errors, her rebounding talents could elevate her team rather than merely compensate for squandered scoring opportunities. Despite these well-documented struggles close to the basket, Reese's public workout videos feature her practicing three-point shots, an area where she converted under 20% last season. Critics say this emphasis is misplaced, arguing she should first refine her post moves and layup accuracy. It's reminiscent of polishing the roof of a house when the foundation is cracked. Reese's defenders maintain that a diversified skill set is necessary in today's WNBA, and that developing range might eventually lift her offensive ceiling. Yet the optics are hard to overlook. a player with glaring point-blank shortcomings, investing time in an aspect of the game that hasn't been her strong suit. This perceived disconnect raises questions about her training regimen and whether she's prioritizing style over substance. For a rookie seeking to win over coaches and veteran teammates, focusing on core weaknesses typically outweighs the allure of highlight-worthy long-range shots. Fans wonder if she grasps that balance. A closer look at Reese's form reveals issues extending beyond mere shot selection. Footage shows a release that many describe as more of a push than traditional follow-through, coupled with awkward wrist alignment and inconsistent foot placement. Such fundamentals often form during early development, prompting surprise that these habits persist at the professional level. Coaches stress the need for a stable shooting base, proper arc, and consistent mechanics, yet Reese's approach appears scattered. Inside the paint, observers see her rushing layups and failing to square her shoulders, while at perimeter, the lack of fluidity becomes even more evident. Critics argue these flaws are correctable but require intensive, specialized coaching and significant repetition. With numerous examples of players who overcame early mechanical issues to thrive, there's hope Reese can do the same. The question is whether she's willing to endure the rigorous process of unlearning habits that have plagued her efficiency. Legends of the game have not stayed silent. Lisa Leslie, among the most revered WNBA icons, publicly urged Reese to focus on her layup form, a direct critique of what should be a fundamental skill for a forward of her stature. Meanwhile, Shaquille O'Neal drew comparisons to Antawn Jamison, suggesting Reese's trajectory might resemble a solid yet unspectacular career rather than a Hall of Fame arc. These remarks represent a shift from earlier praise, reflecting a growing impatience over her ongoing shortcomings. When veterans speak so candidly, it signals concerns that go beyond routine rookie adjustments. They see talent overshadowed by recurring flaws, and their message is clear: fix the basics before aspiring to greatness. For Reese, these critiques carry weight, as legends like Leslie and O'Neal rarely mince words about players they believe can rise to elite status. Time will tell if she heeds their advice or continues a path that invites further scrutiny from league trailblazers. Some analysts now predict Reese could lose her starting role if she fails to correct course, citing a league-wide emphasis on maximizing each possession. Inconsistent finishing, they argue, hampers the team's offensive efficiency and places added pressure on perimeter scorers. While Reese's rebounding and defensive potential remain positives, coaches might be forced to weigh those benefits against her shooting woes. A possible bench stint could serve as both wake-up call and relief, giving her time to rebuild confidence without the burden of anchoring the paint. Still, that scenario represents a stark decline from the fanfare that greeted her professional arrival. The notion that her best contributions might come off the bench suggests a reality check for those who once envisioned her as a franchise cornerstone. Whether such a move ultimately helps or hinders her development remains to be seen, but the specter of reduced minutes underscores the urgency of tangible progress before skepticism calcifies. These concerns become even more evident when comparing Reese to other post players who convert the same close-range looks at vastly higher rates. Aya Wilson and Brittany Griner routinely exceed 60% at the rim, maximizing their physical gifts with polished technique. Even certain guards, giving up half a foot in height, manage more reliable finishes, exposing Reese's inability to exploit mismatches. Her supporters point out that proper footwork and timing don't come naturally to everyone, but opponents wonder if she might lack the refined skill set found in top-tier bigs. The raw tools are undeniably there, yet the difference between potential and production grows wider with every low-percentage outing. In a league where film study is intense and opponents quickly identify weaknesses, Reese's struggles can become focal points in scouting reports. Closing that gap requires a swift blend of mechanical refinement and mental resilience, two things that currently appear elusive. In the end, Angel Reese's story raises questions about raw talent versus proven fundamentals. Her social media presence and collegiate track record once promised a swift ascension, yet her subpar shooting has soured early optimism. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's smooth transition to the pro ranks underscores how adaptability and strong mechanics can trump mere hype. Reese now stands at a crossroads. She can either acknowledge these challenges head-on, recalibrate her training regimen, and address every deficiency that detracts from her imposing physical profile or risk fading into obscurity as other rookies and veterans refine their craft. Fans who champion her potential hope, she embraces a self-aware mentality that leads to the dramatic improvement legends like Leslie believe is possible. The question is whether she'll seize this moment or remain confined by it. As the WNBA evolves, efficiency reigns supreme, and Reese must show she can adapt or watch her peers leave her behind.